Hello. I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? Why does this always launch like this? Oh, I think my volume's way down. Hang on. All right, talk to me.
Oh,
No.
you can hear me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I muted myself on my headset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Say something.
Hi.
Okay, hi!
Hi.
Okay, listen to me, cats. Listen well. Do not mess this up for me.
So how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah. I shot a movie this weekend.
Very nice.
Yeah, I got decapitated in it. Spoilers, no spoilers. And it's presented a really unique issue for me.
Okay.
So, some guy now has an exact replica of my head.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's expensive. It would cost me money to get my head back, but it's like an exact replica of my head. It's not something he sculpted. We did a whole body cast, and it was a whole process. Well, not body cast, but bust cast. And it's made of silicone. It looks super realistic. They added eyebrows that are, by the way, on fleek. More eyebrows than I have ever dreamed of owning or having. And they put lashes on it. It looks super realistic. But it's like my head, and I feel kind of weird about some guy just having my head sitting in a basement somewhere.
Yeah, I did like the text I sent you of what's the price on your head.
Yeah, that was a good one. So the price on my head is technically $400, and it's good to know like what the bounty would be.
I mean, I feel like my life isn't worth $400, but, good for your silicone head.
Hey, it's not bad. That's an okay price for a head. Technically, yeah. He kind of wiggled roomed down to 400, and I'm still hoping to get him down a little bit more. It started at 600.
Damn.
And I'm trying to get him to knock off the price on my head because I would like it. I don't want it just sitting in someone's basement. And also, I don't know if in the future he would use that in any other films. And since I choose my film roles carefully, I don't want to just be popping up all over the place in just anything. So, I mean, who knows what you could do with that head. So,
yeah, it does present weird, like, should there have been something that he made you sign? Because, like, that's a really accurate likeness to just have floating out in the ether.
And don't get me wrong, the special effects makeup artist on this shoot was incredible, and he's an awesome guy, and I trust him completely. It's just a weird thing to have, like, a so clear likeness of yourself in the possession of someone else.
Yeah, well, and I just mean, it sounds like this guy's really dope, but just in general, like, how many other actors have been cast, and how many likenesses are just floating out there?
Oh, lots. Like, if you work for a professional, like a studio film, and they make a likeness of you, technically it belongs to them.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about indie films and, like, getting hired on more indie sets, I mean, the quality of product can vary. Not as far as head goes, but as far as film and storytelling.
Right.
I have a cat trying to steal a pair of scissors right now. Don't you dare! No, get down. Oh my god, what was he going to do with the scissors? Yeah, I just don't know that I want someone making money off my head.
Yeah.
Although I would credit him if I ever used it in anything. I would ask him first, and I would certainly make sure he got the credit due. But also just don't want my head out there.
Yeah, because, like, so I used to do effects makeup, and I've never actually made, like, a full cast. Like, you showed me the pictures. It looks bomb. But
it's
I have, like,
legit.
Sculpted people before and taken casts to do, like, prosthetics and stuff. But, like, I can't imagine repurposing that. Like, okay, so if you buy it, what are you going to use it for?
Oh, so much stuff. Do you even know? Oh my god, I would prank so many people with my fake head. It looks identical to me, except it's got better eyebrows. Granted, but I bet I could fix that. I bet I could fix that with a little time and some tweezers. I could make that real me. So it looks exactly like me. I would use it to prank Christy, my roommate. I would stick it in the refrigerator, in her bed. I'd put it in the backseat of her car.
I love it.
So every Halloween, that's a cat climbing a scratching post in the background, by the way. Every Halloween, this couple I've nannied for since the little girl was 7 years old, her mom and I prank her husband. So we've done some pretty great ones. There's one time I strapped a clown, because he's terrified of clowns, but like this clown doll, to the back of his car. So when he looked in the rearview mirror when he was backing out, it looked like it was back there. We hide creepy dolls in the medicine cabinets. So the second I posted that on Instagram, I got a message from her, and she's like, "Oh my God, you have to bring this over for Halloween so we can get him. You just have to."
So I guess that's my next question. Can you rent your head if you're like, hey, I just need it for like 2 hours on Halloween?
I know. I talked to him about that. He lives a little far away. Don't get me wrong. Like, the head is worth the drive.
Okay.
But at what point does it become a rent-to-own situation?
Can you rent to center your head?
Can I rent to center my head? But then I also don't want him just like willy-nilly renting out my head.
That's also
to just
true.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe, I don't know, I need to talk to him more, and we need to figure it out.
Okay. Well, please report back.
I did make some money from the film, so I might put that towards the head and ideally get it down so that I could call it maybe a wash, but I don't know that I made that much from the film. So then, did I do this film basically for negative however many dollars?
The bigger question is, at what point does it become a tax write-off business expense?
Oh, now. Like, if I bought it now, I could totally write it off on my taxes.
There you go. I think that helps in the argument a little bit, at least.
Absolutely, because it would be me buying a controlling asset of my likeness. So theoretically, I could totally write that off. Somewhere there's an accountant listening to this thinking, no, that's kind of sketchy.
Do you want to represent us, accountant?
Accountant, hit me up and tell me, can I write off my head? At supposedlypod@gmail.com. Can I write off my artificial head on my taxes? Pretty sure I can. I wrote off the wig that they used on it, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Technically, all I'd have to do is, like, make a little short with my head falling off. Or have them give me a producer credit on the film I was already in.
There you go. So I've learned, since I got this new headset, it's got, like, a suspended mic in front of me, that I need to invest in some straws. I'm trying to drink this glass of rosé because I'm fancy. It's sparkling.
You are fancy.
Yo, it's like, it's 7:30 here. I can do whatever I want. And I'm like trying to very carefully negotiate my depth perception for how close my microphone is. So if you hear weird like bonking sounds, I'm just getting drunk.
Do I need to send you some straws to Germany?
I mean, it's probably easier for me to just pick some up from the grocery store, but I would not be opposed.
Oh man, full-on cat fight. Oh, I'm gonna die alone.
You and your head surrounded by cats.
Yeah, I get less and less dateable the older I get. Okay, first of all, I only own one of these cats. Two of these cats are not mine, but they're in the room at the moment. The head, that might be a rent-to-own situation. So I'm okay. In theory. Of course, like, if you take me out on a date with you, I'm also probably gonna stick my foot in my mouth and, like, high-five a pizza or tell you I thought you were gay when we met. But, you know, someday I'll find someone who likes that.
As a straight woman off the market, would be super into someone high-fiving a pizza on a date. So maybe there's hope for you yet.
I don't know.
Okay, well... I think that's part of why you're like one of my best friends, though, is who doesn't want someone who will high-five a pizza?
Yeah. Okay, so to be clear to the listeners, of which we probably have like two, the one and only time I ever asked a guy out, it was a friend that I was super, super into. We're sitting on his couch, we're watching a movie, we're eating pizza, and I decide this is my moment. I'm gonna ask him out. I'm gonna do it. So in my mind, I'm like, quick, Jesse, diffuse the tension. Of which there was none, because I have yet to do anything. Mm-hmm. So I take the pizza in my left hand, and with my right hand, I high-five it. But I don't mean like I tapped the pizza. I mean, I full-on slapped the pizza, topping side to palm, hard, very hard. And if that wasn't enough, I backed it up by pointing at the pizza and say, "That's for being tasty." And then I immediately turned to him, thinking in my mind, like, oh, tension diffused. Go, go, go. Here's your moment. And I go, so, hey, do you think that maybe, I don't know, you want to, like, go out to eat somewhere sometime? I asked him to take me out to eat at a public place after slapping a pizza and saying that's for being tasty. He looked horrified. He's just staring at me. His mind is trying to process the disaster which he just saw. Like, did she mean to do that? Is she okay? Does she need medication? What is happening? And he just followed up with, don't really know what I'm going to be doing.
Ever. Oh, man.
Which was just like a knife in the heart, because I didn't say a day or a time or
Oh,
anything
man.
like that. And, yeah, I still have nightmares about that. Anyway.
Woof. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Eventually we
into
did
it.
go out. I will say that. Eventually we did go out.
Did you slap any other food in public?
Probably. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think so. It was a long relationship.
okay.
I don't
Well,
want to talk about that part of it.
you
But the
did
pizza
something
thing,
right. There you go.
it started off shaky. That should have been an indication. All I'm saying.
Probably.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you if you've ever done anything embarrassing on a date.
I mean, exist.
Or before the date.
Okay, so, all right. Let me turn my tablet to sleep. So dating my husband,
Mhm.
I was newly out of a relationship and trying to get a little freaky deaky because I had been with this guy since I was like 17. So I hadn't.
Wanted a rebound.
I did, and so I hadn't gotten a chance to kind of sow my wild oats or whatever, and so I hit Tinder, and I hit Tinder hard.
Oh man, okay.
And because I'd never gotten to before, and so it was kind of like a fun. So I hit Tinder with reckless abandon because it kind of felt like a fun app game to me. I was like, ooh, swipe left, swipe right. It was very much like the bunny waffle game in Wreck-It Ralph. I was like, bunny, 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 milkshake. Um, and so that meant that I, just by the sheer numbers alone, got myself into a couple Tinder dates. And I was also going to college at the time, and so had been on a couple dates, whatever, not really feeling anything, not really into it. And so I had this date with Darnell, and that night I was not feeling it. I had a paper due the next day that I hadn't even started yet because I was that kind of busy. I'm a habitual procrastinator. And so I wasn't really feeling this date. And I was like, I'm not even going to look cute for it. I wore like a t-shirt and jeans. And I was like, I'm not even going to look cute, whatever. I don't even care. I don't even want to go on this date. Even though we had texted for a couple days up until this and our Tinder messages, we had great chemistry. Life was going great. I was just being this like moody, rebellious person just because I was so frustrated about having this paper due. And so I show up and he looks swaggerific. He is like suited and booted. He's got this little cabbie hat action happen. I was like, damn. And so I'm just standing there like, oh my God, I look like a lesbian. Which, like, no hate, I was raised by lesbians, so I come by this aesthetic honestly. Hi, Mom.
Hi, moms.
Yeah, right. And so I'm like, hey, how's it going in your suit and stuff? And we end up like shutting this restaurant down. And he drove me back to my car because I'd parked a ways away and like took the streetcar that's in Kansas City down. And he has this nice car and he's like dressed nice. And I'm just like, I look like a homeless person. And somehow he married me. So I guess my shining personality must have resonated through.
So what you're telling me is no, it's not okay for people to high-five pizza or do embarrassing things.
I mean,
you dress honestly is what you did. You dressed honestly.
I was not. There are no
and you ended up getting
pretenses.
married. I high-five a pizza and I ended up getting ghosted. Like, what the fuck?
May I just suggest lumberjack lesbian aesthetic and see where it goes?
At this point, sure. I'm not dating right now. I am so good with not dating right now. But when I try again, I'll go lesbian. No, not like I will be. No, just to be clear, I also have no problem with lesbianism. My sister's a lesbian. Proud and true. Hi, sis. But I will dress lumberjack.
There
And
you
we'll see
go.
what happens. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. No, and to be fair, that's still the aesthetic in our relationship. I like let him get dressed first to see how casual is appropriate. Because he will be like what I would consider like Oscars worthy. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I just wanted to wear sweatpants. Like, I'm not trying to wear a zipper today, okay?
I'm not trying to wear a zipper today. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next date I went on, the most recent date I have been on that I will not go on another date again. Okay, so the most recent date is a guy that I had worked with on film sets for a very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on like the very first or second film set I ever worked with him on, he was getting ready to move somewhere. And one of the other guys I was talking to, not like talking to, but just talking to on set, was like, hey, we'll call this guy, what should we call this guy?
Brad Pitt.
Hey. He's like, hey, it just came up naturally. He goes, oh yeah, Brad Pitt's getting ready to move, and he's getting ready to move to Georgia with his boyfriend. And I go, oh, okay, he's got a boyfriend. All right, cool, whatever. So we move on, and I had thought he was a little cute before that, but I'm like, oh, okay, he's got a boyfriend, no worries, cool. And so we worked together multiple times, like over a course of probably 4 years. And he kept flirting with me towards the last couple times we worked together, like doing hearts on Instagram, sending me cute little things. And I just thought he was being a super affectionate gay guy who was just like, oh my God, you look beautiful today. I'm crushing on you, That's how I interpreted his text, even though, whatever.
I thought you were having like a Fab Five moment.
Yeah, I thought we were having like a five moment, and he was just like, girl, you look stunning. He didn't say, girl, you look stunning. He just said, you look stunning. And to me, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, thanks, I feel good. Well, eventually, I start wondering, like, is he gay? So I start asking around, because it started leaning a little more towards flirting. And most people were like, no, he's not gay. He's not gay. So eventually he asks me out. And we have what I would call a little date. He comes over, he brings some drinks, we're just talking and catching up about things. And I decided to lead with, oh yeah, I would have gone out with you a lot sooner, but I thought you were gay. And here I go telling this story, thinking that I'm telling this cute story about how I liked him for a while, but someone told me he had a boyfriend once, and that's in my mind. I stuck him in that file, and I didn't, think that I had a chance. He didn't take it well.
Oh.
So, yeah, that ended up being a very short date. I would tell you, I can't tell the best part of the date, or the worst part of the date, because it'll give away who it is. Because it's his name, and it's involved in a pun that I accidentally closed out with that just sealed that he's never going to call me again. But it has not gone well.
Well, very sorry. At least you have your one cat that you actually own.
And my rent-to-own head.
And your rent-to-own head.
So, what do you have for me today?
All right. So,
cheer me up after that depressing walk down my social and romantic life.
All right. Well, today I am covering So, Jesse, 2020 has been the absolute craziest year of our lives. We've had missile strikes, brush fires, Kobe Bryant died in a freak accident, murder hornets, coronavirus, the continued murders and violence against Black people by police brutality, and even more crazy stuff. So I've seen a lot of memes that suggest that aliens can't be far behind. But, where are they?
Ooh.
So today, I'm going to tell you about the Fermi paradox.
I have never heard about the Fermi paradox?
Fermi, or Fermi, depending on...
The Fermi paradox.
Yeah.
But I do know that the Pentagon released some videos of what they are classifying as UFOs.
They did, and that'll come up.
Okay, cool. Tell me about it. I noticed they kind of slipped it in there. Like a guy slips in the DMs, they just kind of slipped it in there, hoping that not a lot of people caught that.
Well, we've been a little busy this year.
Truth.
So let's talk a little bit about Fermi before we get into his paradox. I'm going to make it so you can see me a little bit better. Not that you probably want to, because it's been a minute since I made myself presentable. But hey!
I think I'm wearing a scrunchie from the 90s that I had as a child. I don't really know.
You know what? It's still quarantine.
Scrunchies are back in. And here's the thing. I think scrunchies are terrible. I don't think they should... Yeah, hot take here.
Oh,
Scrunchies
okay.
should never have been popular in the first place, but I'll excuse it because the 80s was just a fashion wasteland already. But them coming back, no excuse. The only reason I have this in my hair right now is because it's the only ponytail that's neon and big for me not to lose when I'm rolling around in bed in my sweats. And I don't wear this in public. Scrunchies should not exist.
Okay,
Mic
well,
drop.
good for you. I have these really nice velvety scrunchies that I
Oh,
love.
you're a scrunchie defender?
I am, and part of it's because I have a lot of hair, and so it gets really heavy, and scrunchies help to not break it. They help keep it safe, and they also help to mitigate some of the weight. So they're way
Girl,
more comfortable.
you don't need a scrunchie. You need a strong teletie.
I just
No.
zip tie my hair. It's
Okay,
fine.
so this is a teletie. It
Okay.
kind of looks like an old school phone cord.
Yeah.
Mine matches my hair, you see,
Nice.
but it's stretchy, it's durable, it's waterproof, it shrinks back to its natural size when you're not using it. It can look like a bracelet on your wrist. It's very supportive of hair. It does not rip, nor does it snag. But scrunchies are terrible. And
Well,
I'm going to play this video for you in 5 years when scrunchies are gone and gross as Crocs again. And then you'll see, and you will own up to me that scrunchies are terrible. And we're going to edit it in this episode.
I'm happy to. I will die on the scrunchie hill. I've never stopped wearing them. Every time that I have long hair, they are a part of my life.
I'm going to send you some teleties, and in 5 years, calling it now, 5 years tops, really probably more around 2 or 3, you're going to be saying scrunchies suck. All right, tell me about Fairfield.
Joke's on you. I wore fucking lumberjack lesbian aesthetic to my first date with my husband. Clearly, I don't give a shit what I look like. You not liking scrunchies ain't gonna stop me.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay,
There will be an update to this episode.
My bar is low. Okay. So, Enrico Fermi was alive from 1901 to 1954. He was an Italian physicist who immigrated to the United States. He created the world's first nuclear reactor, the Chicago Pile 1. So he and his wife Laura, a Jewish woman, immigrated to the United States to protect her from racial persecution. Laura was a political activist and authored several books focusing on peaceful uses for atomic energy, as well as the intellectual migration of scientists from Europe to the States. So here or I guess I'm not here in the United States, I'm in Germany. So in the United States, Enrico worked on the Manhattan Project during World War II.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Atomic bomb.
Yeah, so there's a little background on him. So the Fermi paradox, what we're here to talk about today. So Fermi asked the question, if there are billions of stars out there, there must be advanced civilizations out there, yet we've seen no evidence. Why?
Because we're stupid creatures and they don't want anything to do with us.
That's probably not a bad answer.
Just saying. Would you want to, what do we have to offer them?
I want nothing to do with us.
Yeah, seriously, we're terrible. Go on.
So, if there are billions of stars out there, the first step to answering or attempting to answer this paradox is cracking down to the numbers. So let's just take a minute. I'm really bad at math, so whoever's an actual scientist out there, please correct me, but do it nicely.
Oh, hey, if the accountant guy that is listening that could tell us if we could write off my head wants to crunch some numbers for us.
There you go. There you go. But until he comes and writes us, I'm the best we have, and I'm sorry.
You really are, because I would be screwed. Go on.
So it's estimated that for every grain of sand on Earth, there are 10,000 stars just within the Milky Way.
Whoa. But wait, are they alive or are they dead?
Just stars in general.
Okay.
So there's an estimated 100 billion galaxies in our observable universe.
A lot of galaxies.
It's a lot of galaxies.
Far away.
So to begin to answer the question posed within the Fermi paradox, we start with Drake's equation, which is, are you ready?
When does Nicki Minaj chime in?
Not right now. Maybe later.
So it's Drake's equation.
Oh, God. Okay.
That just went over. Okay.
No, it didn't. I was just hoping we could ignore it. I was like,
Do
I know
you
what she's
know
doing.
me? I
do.
high-fived a pizza. I make terrible puns. I don't
Alright.
ignore any opportunity for a dad joke because I didn't have a dad, so I had to make them for myself.
Yo, same. That's the part of having gay parents no one talks about. You either get 0 dad jokes or twice as many.
Oh, what a blessed life that would be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here we are, just 2 lost girls trying to make our own dad jokes in the world.
So then don't make fun of me when I drop a Drake joke.
Okay. Well, Drake, not the kid from Degrassi.
Damn it, I thought you were going to let that one go.
No.
What about Drake and Josh? Can I? No.
Yes, I love Drake and Josh. All right.
Drake, though.
Not that Drake either. I believe his name is Frank Drake. His equation is n equals r star times f sub p times n sub e times f sub l times f sub I times f sub c times l.
I don't know if the viewers just went to sleep there, but I went to a whole different place.
A whole different planet, did you?
Probably.
All right, so let's break that down. So
Do we have to?
So n equals the civilizations in our galaxy with which communication might be possible. And the way that that's solved is r star is the average rate of star formation in the galaxy. Then we've got f sub p, which is the fraction of those stars that have planets. N sub e is the average of those planets that can potentially support life per star that has planet. F sub l is the fraction of those planets that could support life that could actually develop intelligence at some point.
So I'm going to stop you right there
Okay.
because I have a little quick question. When you talk about stars that could have planets, you're talking kind of like a sun, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify that in case anyone was like having questions. That's the only thing I heard in my brain through the numbers equations. Algebra was my nightmare.
Yeah, mine too, which is why I was very proud that this made any sense at all to me. So F sub C is the fraction of civilizations that could develop a technology that releases detectable signs of their existence into space, i.e. communication. And then L is the length of time for which such civilizations to release those detectable signals into space where we could communicate back. So basically, the N, this number we're trying to solve for, is this tiny, tiny rate as we classify out. All right, so this is a star. This is a star that has planets. These are the planets within that could support life. This is the life that could then be intelligent. This is the life that could be intelligent that could then want to communicate.
Gotcha.
So it gets super tiny.
It gets smaller. Like when you think about dateable people. Okay.
Exactly.
When people say there's a lot of fish in the sea. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But half of them are not the sex you're looking for, unless you're bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
Part of those are taken. Part of those are people that you would in no way be attracted to, even though they're specifically like the right gender and the right type of thing you're looking for. It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then L is the pizza slap.
And L is the pizza slap. Dooms you to an eternity of cats and aloneness.
And your own
I've got
head.
my head to keep me warm. Fine.
So using Drake's formula, we're able to get a more realistic view at the probability of intelligent life and our ability to communicate with them. So supposing that n, the number that we're solving for, is 0.1%, so 0.1% of the planets within the Milky Way, if they harbored life, there would still be 1 million planets with life on them, which is like a shit ton of planets.
How many of those do you think is better than here?
Most of them.
Well, because some of them aren't going to have like human life forms. Some of them are going to be like dinosaur-esque creatures.
I want to go there.
Are probably going to be some form of interdimensional beings, like I keep thinking Shakespeare, but I was really thinking I meant Spielberg.
Okay.
I don't know why those two got all jumbled in my mind. Like Spielberg did in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so, out of all those.
You know, at this point, I may be willing to take my chances.
That's how Jurassic Park kind of happened.
Yeah. I thought I was wearing my Jurassic Park shirt for a minute, but that was yesterday. All my days are the same.
Nice little happenstance.
Right? Okay, so the Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. So at first, there was a lot of energy, a lot of explosions, but they stopped relatively quickly, about 1 or 2 billion years after development, which then created an environment suitable for life. So Earth, by contrast, is only about 4.5 billion years old. So in that entire existence, entire civilizations could have come and gone before humans even existed. because we've only been around for about 200,000 years and have only been looking for intelligent life in a truly meaningful way for the last 100 or so years.
Yeah, we're kind of universal babies.
We are. So let's take a minute and define intelligent life. When we talk about intelligent life in terms of like NASA searching and doing probes to look for intelligent life, we're meaning typically life that looks like ours, composed of cells, proteins, DNA, RNA, and typically like mammalian and requiring oxygen and water to survive. So when we send out these probes to search for planets with the appropriate conditions, we're looking for a place that's habitable for us. This is a pretty limited view for what forms of intelligent life could take. If you look within our own planet, we have organisms which can survive extreme cold, extreme heat, a reptilian, etc. So we're really limiting our search by looking for life through a human lens.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the Kardashev scale is a way of measuring intelligent civilizations. So it's broken into 3 different levels. Level 1 is a civilization which learned to use all of its own planetary energy. Level 2 is a civilization which learned to use all of its home star energy, so the equivalent of its sun. And then level 3 is a civilization which learned to use all of its galaxy energy. So for reference, we're approximately 0.73 on the scale.
Okay, so is that good or bad?
I mean, it's not great, probably.
Okay, well, that's honest then. I was wondering if they made the scale to kind of skew us to the top, like they tend to do.
No, I mean, it represents that we still don't even know how to harness all of the energy with our own planet.
Okay, cool. All right, fair scale.
So if we were to encounter a level 3 civilization, one that could use all of the galaxy energy, we would likely believe it was God.
That's every episode of Star Trek where they arrive on a planet and the inhabitants are like, you are gods. And they're like, no, we are not. We are just men with further technology. Yeah, it's just all that.
Yep, pretty much. Star Trek, Rick and Morty, it's all the same.
Yep, ancient aliens.
So where is everybody? So since we're talking about this paradox, there isn't a concrete answer, but there are several hypotheses. So I'm going to cover just a couple of them. So one thought is we were visited a long time ago, like you just said, ancient aliens, maybe even before humans inhabited the Earth. Like I said earlier, we've only been around for a fraction of Earth's entire existence.
Yeah, maybe they came, it was dinosaurs, and they were like, nope. Don't want to get eaten, and left.
Exactly. And maybe they haven't checked back in because they were like, dinosaurs were our nope of the week, so peace out, honey.
I was just going to say that.
But yeah, no, that's an absolutely valid thought. Or like you said earlier with ancient aliens, we have kind of like these Mayan tablets and Egyptian tablets that's like, that looks kind of spaceshipy to me, yo. And so maybe they showed up, a while ago, and then they were like, cool, we did our thing, peace, and headed out. And we just haven't seen them since.
At some point, we'll do a whole episode, I feel like, about ancient aliens, and we'll take different little things and break it down. Because there is so much to explore there. That's a whole deep dive within itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next hypothesis I'm going to talk about is that we just may live in like a, quote, rural part of the galaxy. Since our observable universe is 90 billion light years in diameter, we just may be too far away for them to venture out into the galaxy sticks where we live.
I believe that. I believe that we would be, and don't hate me for saying this, the rednecks of the galaxy. I could see that. That makes sense.
The only thing our planet has to offer is Casey's General Store.
They got some good pizza, though.
They do. You should high-five it.
Oh, man. I walked right into that one.
You really did.
I really did.
So with that thought, everything that's outside of our local group will likely never be reached because it's too far away, and it's only getting farther away because of constant expansion of the universe. So if we're kind of rural now, we're going to be all the way in a cornfield for too long.
So we're going to be like Arkansas.
Yeah.
Nothing against Arkansas. My best friend lives in Arkansas.
There you go.
Hey, Lizzie.
So
she's not listening.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, Lizzie. So the third hypothesis is that colonization is primitive. Did you hear that, white Europeans? They think maybe colonization is just primitive and that more intelligent life forms just may not be interested in us.
I wouldn't be interested in us.
Wouldn't be interested in us either. And
I'm pretty interested in all sorts of societies, but like Earth as a whole, if I were an alien, I would know about. Yeah. Especially in 2020. What if they showed up now and we're like, oh, no, back away.
Yeah, no.
Pull up the windows, kids, keep driving. This is the bad part of the galaxy.
Yeah, that's Earth. We're the bad part.
We are.
Oh, I wouldn't stop here. No, the aliens have to hold their potty break for a little bit longer. Earth is not the place to stop.
Wait till we get to the interdimensional part.
We don't stop at Casey's, kids. So the other thought is that maybe we are too primitive to receive their signals. Like, potentially they're trying to call us from an iPhone and we're trying to answer on a telegraph.
That could make sense, yes.
Yeah.
Just the technology doesn't match yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This one's kind of freaky deaky. Aliens may exist in other dimensions.
I said that already. Spielberg / Shakespeare
Okay.
in my mind.
Okay. I'm
dropping the interdimensional thing.
Wherefore art thou, little gray?
I feel like that's the episode title now.
So we may not be able to see them because they're on a different plane of existence or somewhere else in the multiverse. Potentially this is what leads to sightings, that we only occasionally see them because they pop into our plane of existence.
They say that about ghosts too.
Exactly.
But it could be like a different dimensional thing.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse sounds kind of fun.
Yeah. So the last one I'm going to talk about is that we are just being observed. We're like a galaxy Truman Show. They might just be watching us.
We're simulated. We're a sim.
That's another possibility that I did learn about in doing my research. So they may just be watching us like an experiment and avoiding contact to see what we do. And that may depend on if they're hostile or friendly. We may just not even be worth their time to attack.
Oh man, I hope they don't let us get like tank funk and we'll all die out like my sea monkeys did.
I hope not. I really don't want white gunk attached to my fin before I die.
Not a good way to go.
Hopefully they at least remember to add the right packet of water purifier when they change the water out.
Yeah, that was an amateur mistake. Bad move on my part. I'm sorry, sea monkeys on Mars. May you rest in peace. You want to know something really gross?
Yeah.
I haven't dumped the tank yet. I keep meaning to, but it's on high up on a shelf.
Oh no.
I know. I'll get to it.
I would help you with my giant powers if I was there.
Yeah, it would probably be cathartic. I'm going to have to say some words.
Yeah, that'll be an epic toilet flush.
So, or we're a sim. And if you've ever played The Sims, you know that 2020 seems about right. You know, you got Trump as president.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, I mean, I could go on. Murder Hornets. It's just a new expansion pack. We just got a new expansion pack.
Yeah, I feel like someone took out my pool ladder. And I'm just hungry and angry and want to go to bed.
I feel like I too am hungry and angry and just want to go to bed.
I haven't
Do you think
myself
we
yet.
are playable Sims, or do you think we're NPCs?
Oh, I don't know, but I hope I get one of the cool names.
Like what?
I don't know.
What would you want your Sim name to be?
I want to be one of the Goths, man. They seem dope.
Oh, Bella Goth got abducted by aliens, and I know people are going to come for me on that one because that's a whole controversial thing in itself, but she fits into this whole interdimensional. Bella Goth is probably an interdimensional being.
Honestly, yeah. We should do a Sims episode because we're both Sims junkies.
People won't listen, but I'll do it.
They're already not. All right, so let's
talk for being tasty, listeners.
So let's talk about the Great Filter Theory. So the Great Filter Theory supposes that intelligent life must pass through a barrier, almost like a staircase. And so far, humans have climbed each step that we've reached in order to get to where we are. Potentially, there are other life forms at our level. Maybe they're looking for us too, but are limited in technology in the same ways that we are. With the filter theory, there are two possibilities. The good possibility is that the barrier is already behind us and we've surpassed the limitations, which makes us one of, if not the most intelligent life form to exist.
Oh God, I hope not.
I hope not too. The bad possibility is that the great filter lies ahead of us and that we're hurtling towards it at an unstoppable rate. In that case, we are likely not the first form of intelligent life, but the last form of it, and are just following in the footsteps of other forms who self-exterminated by way of nuclear war, AI gone sentient and destructive, nanotechnology, genetic engineering of the perfect superbug, or grand-scale pollution, which seems like the most boring of those options.
You know, I just want to say we are going to take ourselves out. There's no doubt in my mind. How does the world end? Oh, people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
People.
Yep.
We are an invasive species.
We really are. So finding intelligent life, especially superior to ours, would support the theory that we're headed towards a great filter. Worse than finding intelligent life would be finding the remains of it, which would prove the existence of a filter yet to come.
I don't know. I think that's not bad. Maybe that would be enough to wake us up into taking care of the planet a little more and
Please, you mean to tell me that if we found some really cool alien technology, our scientists wouldn't go, bet we could build it better? Or not our scientists, our governments at very least?
Yeah, okay, well, look at us. We have the technology to operate our homes off of solar energy. Do we use it?
Nope.
Nope. We have the power to turn salt water into drinkable water. Do we use it?
Nope.
Nope. So I think capitalism is a huge enemy in this.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying, hey, socialist life, whatever, but I feel like things gotta change
Yeah.
if we want to be around to find out if there is a grade or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, and I'm not, this ultra communist, like, oh, all capitalism is bad, but I think super capitalism isn't great.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think that like 4
Absolutely.
dudes should own all of the world.
No.
So yeah, that's why I'm like, if we found those ruins of some other civilization, I for sure bet we would try and copy that blueprint. You can't tell me we wouldn't. And you know what? It'd probably be really dope. I'm sure the scientists would be like, I don't think we should do this, but I'm super down. What's up, Dr. Wu from Jurassic Park?
It all comes back to Jurassic Park.
You know why? Because life finds a way.
Love it.
You get to do Gandalf, I get to do Dr. Ian Malcolm.
I did transcontinental.
You
Gandalf,
did.
though, in all fairness.
Transcontinental Gandalf.
So
And
what would transcontinental
so many
Jeff
episode
Goldblum's
titles.
character be?
I think I'm gonna leave that one to you.
Well, I guess people will have to wait to find out.
So the other thing is, could we be it? There's 2 schools of thought in the conversation of whether intelligent life is out there. So the law of mediocrity supports that there is other intelligent life out there and that it is common. The law of mediocrity is that our very existence proves that life must be a very common thing in the universe. And that's kind of what I tend to believe. I've always said
we can't be the only ones.
I'm not narcissistic enough to believe that it's just us.
Right.
So we both probably subscribe to the law of mediocrity. The other side is the rare earth hypothesis, which is an argument that maintains that we are the only form of intelligent life because of the freak nature of the perfect conditions that exist on our planet.
I don't believe that.
I don't either, but let's take a look at it.
All right.
So the rare earth hypothesis is that Earth exists in what's called the Goldilocks zone. So it's close enough to the sun to have liquid water and keep us warm, but far enough away so that we aren't scorched and the water doesn't evaporate. So it's like the Goldilocks. Right. Exactly. We have a slow burning star. We're in a friendly galactic neighborhood. We have a thick atmosphere. Our planet has an appropriate tilt for moderate seasons. We have a badass, stable moon that controls our oceans and gravitates our wobble. We have tectonic activity, and we have a magnetic field from our core. So basically, our planet is 100% engineered to support our shitty selves.
Which kind of brings us back to the are we an experiment?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I think that it could be a combination of any of these, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that one and the are we an experiment, because that would, if we're the only thing that's just right.
But we may be the only thing that exists in our capacity. Maybe there's one of those level 3 civilizations that engineered us as an experiment.
True.
Maybe we're the only thing that functions at our level.
Could be any or all of these.
So if we're really all the intelligent life that there is, why would we be careful? So in the past, we've had concerns about bat contamination, which is the theory that our spacecraft could bring a contaminant back to Earth, i.e. like the Andromeda strain. Yeah. So when participants of the first moon landing arrived back home, they were quarantined for 3 weeks in a biologically secure environment to see if they brought back any kind of space bug. We've also been concerned about forward contamination, which explores the possibility of bringing Earth contaminants, which would wipe out a biome of another planet. So an example of that is the Galileo, which was sent to Jupiter unsterilized, and it was destroyed before it reached the destination, so that it wouldn't contaminate the alien atmosphere, because they realized, oh hey, we didn't decontaminate it, maybe we will find something there, and our Earth cooties will just jack it all up.
Look, Earth is a pandemic. You gotta Lysol your spaceship.
You do. And so we clearly believe that there's at least the chance that life exists elsewhere in some capacity because of the precautions that we take when interacting with space. So like you said earlier with the Pentagon, don't we have evidence? So
We
people
do.
have reported sightings. We have Roswell. We still don't really know what's going on at Area 51. We've had these, the
Oh, if I bet they moved everything out of Area
Oh, I'm
51
sure.
to some super secret place by now. After Roswell happened, they were like, time to move the shit. Come on, get the secret stuff out of here.
But still, we don't know what used to be there.
True, and we
Yeah.
don't know what's there now, but
Yeah, we've got
it's somewhere
out there. The truth is out there, if you will. So like you said, the Pentagon has confirmed that they're really not sure what those U.S. service members caught on camera. They have been identified as UFOs, which really does just stand for unidentified
flying object.
Not necessarily extraterrestrial life, but something we can't identify. And people have had encounters with extraterrestrials. We really do have all of those stories and a lot of them corroborate. A lot of them are very similar, and similar in ways that most people wouldn't be able to just draw up from nothing. So maybe they really do exist in another dimension. Maybe they're just waiting for the right time to strike. But to me, worst of all is the possibility that there could be nothing out there but us.
We're just cars screaming into the void.
Somehow that's scarier to me, honestly.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
That's lonely.
I mean, like, even if the aliens come and take over the planet, and like, it would be worse if they enslaved us or ate us. But I don't know. Part of me is like, maybe the planet's in better hands. This year hasn't been that great.
So what do you think, supposedly?
Supposedly, I think it could be a great combination of any of those things.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're alone. I think that we're probably not the most intelligent life out there, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that we're the most unintelligent life either.
Yeah.
I think intelligence is an interesting scale, and I know they have a way of defining that, like you stated. But how do you judge the intelligence of a lizard versus that of a bird?
Right.
What's intelligent to a lizard functions for that of a lizard. It doesn't function as that is intelligent for birds. So I don't know. I'd like to think that we're not the worst, but I know we're not the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and part of it is what I learned today doing some research is that potentially given enough time, if we, which I think most educated folk do, believe in the evolution theory, that most organisms veer towards complexity the longer that they're allowed to reproduce. Sure. So if you go all the way back in Earth's history, we all started out as bacteria. And then
Didn't they do a study where they projected what humans will look like 1,000 years from now?
Yeah.
With modern technology now having been implemented. And what they're finding is that we would basically kind of look like grays. We'd have similar skin tones. Our heads would be larger. Our bodies would be smaller. Our hands larger and more flexible. The generation of babies that are being born now have already evolved, and they have more flexible thumbs than people of even your and my generation and the generations before us, because of the introduction of video games and laptops is causing us to evolve. And I don't subscribe to the theory that you can't have evolution and God. I think you can.
Yeah.
I think Christians out there are so easy to dismiss evolution. Well, who's to say God didn't make whatever life and then was like, all right, let it evolve over time. I let my Sims evolve over time all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of subscribed, and I know a lot of like the forefathers, I believe, and don't send us hate mail, it's not that big a deal. I believe Benjamin Franklin subscribed to deism, which is kind of always what's made sense to me, and that's the clockmaker's theory of God wound up the universe and just let us tick.
Let it go, yeah.
And
God has put us on autoplay.
Yeah.
Like, theoretically, like what I'm saying.
Yep,
I said like too many times there. Can I say that again?
That's what works for me. I mean, if we're to go by like a Christian theology, is that everything was set up and the play button was hit and we're just unwinding.
I think that that's entirely possible.
And maybe the God that made us is a level 3 civilization that we can't even fathom.
1,000% possible.
Yeah. So that's the Fermi paradox and some thoughts about why we haven't seen concrete proof of aliens yet. Probably just because we're boring as hell.
Do you think it'll be soon?
God, I hope so. Just take me away. Calgon, take me away.
If they were to arrive, 2020 might be the year. Let's be honest.
Okay, so this is a fun question I like to ask people at like dinner parties and stuff.
Sure.
You have one film to show an alien race what humanity is like, what film do you show them?
Oh man. One film.
Mhm.
It would have to be a documentary in my mind.
Okay.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to think on that, and you can edit it in later. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, if you come up with it. Mine, I'll just say mine. Mine would
Okay.
be Forrest Gump.
That's a good one.
I feel like it covers a good chunk of mostly American history. I mean, if they're coming, I assume that it's through our lens as Americans that we're having this conversation. I think it
Okay.
shows a pretty good chunk of history. You see a little bit of how we fight our wars. You see a little bit about the progress that we've made. I would go with Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump's not bad. Forrest Gump's
Yeah.
not bad. I'm gonna think on it more.
There you go.
But I would choose a documentary.
Okay.
I just don't know. Can I choose a TV series?
Sure.
Explained on Netflix.
Okay, that's a cop out, but yeah. Like,
You put me on the spot. You know you've perfected that answer over
I have. No, if it's
multiple dinner parties, and then you throw this to me.
if it's a documentary,
I high five pizza. I don't think well on my feet.
if it's a documentary, let's just make it Super Size Me, and then they can know what utter shit we are.
I think that's actually covered in Netflix's Explained.
Oh well, you just have an answer for everything.
Yeah, that's why I chose that one. It has an answer for everything.
All right, fair enough.
How about a little home shopping?
I am going to tell you today what some of the most haunted items are that ever sold on an online auction site,
Oh yeah,
eBay.
let's go.
Yeah.
So was it just research that you were doing when you were up all night sending me weird shit on eBay?
I will say that I did send Rue a bunch of weird stuff on eBay, and that gave me the idea that I have to do this on one of the episodes. I need to talk about what are the most haunted items that have ever been sold through eBay.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of it, I'm going to give you a couple selections of things you could possibly find on eBay that are haunted now.
Ooh.
So supposedly one of the most haunted things to be sold on eBay was a disturbing painting known as the Haunted eBay Painting, or by its proper title, The Hands Resist Him, by artist Bill Stoneham. Now this painting is based on a real-life photograph of the artist from around the time that he was 5 years old. It depicts a young boy with a doll in front of a glass door with some disembodied hands just kind of floating around in the background.
I hate it already. Also, as we talk about creepy as fuck little kids, can we just say that your roommate has some of her family over?
Oh, can you hear that?
I just did, as you were like, creepy little kids and disembodied hands. I was like, and I was like, I know what's happening, but that's creepy
Jesse,
shit.
Exit out of the word video. I wasn't going to say anything, and if it was in, people could be like, ooh, it's a ghost, and I wouldn't disprove it. I was going to go down in the basement where Jim lives to do the episode today, but there's some problems with internet connectivity down there.
Gotcha.
So I thought, since I'm already talking to you in Germany,
Right.
I don't want to jinx myself by adding ghost and bad internet on top of that.
Well, and I mean, like we discovered in one of our last episodes, sometimes you can just randomly hear stuff exploding on my end. So what are some babies on your end?
Babies and ghosts.
Babies and ghosts.
Maybe the baby's crying because Jim said something offensive. Who knows? No, Jim doesn't say anything offensive. He takes care of the house.
He does. Good guy, Jim.
Good guy, Jim. Hopefully. Or I will smudge his ass out of here. So a California couple found the painting abandoned, and it was found located in a brewery in about February of 2000. They bring it home, and not long after, they listed on eBay with a dire warning to buyers.
Oh.
And here is the direct quote. This painting may or may not possess supernatural powers that could impact or change your life. Now, if anybody's ever perused the paranormal or haunted section of eBay, this is just par for the course on any posting.
Right. There's always the warning of
There's
like,
always the, this may change your life, it may be haunted. Ooh.
Yeah. But there's also the, Or maybe it's not haunted. Don't sue
Or
me.
maybe it's not haunted. They always throw that in at the end. And that's because eBay has a very strict haunted policy when
Right.
selling an item that you have to say, in a coordination with eBay's policy,
Mhm.
results may be varied. Don't take it as it's haunted, right? They slap a novelty disclaimer on the end of all
Right,
their
sure.
things, which to me seems like a great way to sell some used antiques that aren't selling on other platforms by saying they're haunted.
That's a hot take.
But I'm sure there are people out there that are just like, get this stuff out of my house, as in some of these cases.
Are they not selling because they're haunted? Are
We'll
the
find
ghosts
out.
making it so that they're not sellable? Because they want to stay with you.
I hope not. We'll never get rid of this house. I could see Jim doing that, though.
Yeah.
So the couple who brought home the painting claimed that their daughter told them that the boy and the girl from the painting would fight with each other at night. The ad also went on to mention that the boy seemed excited in the picture, which is when they decided to sell it. So they listed it, and it sold for $1,025 to a woman named Kim Smith, who owned a gallery in Michigan.
Damn.
Now, in an interview, she said that she's received emails from people who claim they were repulsed or became physically ill just by viewing the photo of the painting. So not even the actual painting, but viewing a photo of the painting.
Wow. So if we put this up on our Instagram, viewers beware.
Viewers beware. Now, the next is a very, very haunted item. You know what? I'm not going to do that one because that's a great deep dive. Should I dabble or should I deep dive, Rue, on this?
Is it, can we sidebar, is it the Dybbuk box?
It is the Dybbuk box. We don't need to sidebar. We can just say it out loud.
Okay. I don't know, it's up to you.
So, Dybbuk box is a container used to contain a demon, supposedly. And you'll
And
find a lot of
wine,
these
right?
actually. Yeah, this particular one was an ancient, well, not an ancient, but an old antique wine cabinet. It's one of the most haunted items that has ever been sold anywhere.
So
You can find Dybbuk boxes all over eBay, but this one was, whoop, it was lit as far as like demonic entity shit goes.
So coming from someone without a dad, would you say that this wine cabinet Dybbuk box is used to hold spirits?
I certainly would. I certainly would. Okay, so Dybbuk is a term from Jewish folklore that describes a dead person's soul that is stuck in purgatory. Supposedly, it can inhabit an object or the body of a living person. Well, the seller of this item claimed that he bought it from an estate sale in Oregon, and he was told never to open it. What did he do?
He opened it.
He opened it anyway.
Of course.
So he decides he wants to refinish it, keep the box, but in the meantime, he kept the box in the basement of his workshop. So his assistant called him one day, and she says she hears noises coming from the basement and that all the lights had gone out unexplainably. He shows up and finds her, and she noped out of there hardcore. She left and did not come back. He found all of the light bulbs had been smashed, and the basement just reeked of cat pee.
Oh.
I should go on to mention that he never owned a cat, and his assistant never returned to work.
I wouldn't either. Cat pee's pretty foul.
So, he didn't really think too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think that's pretty freaking weird for all my bulbs to be smashed, but he chalked it up to maybe someone did a B&E, spooked his employee, and she ran out.
And dumped cat pee everywhere.
Who knows? But I can imagine at this point he'd probably be like, it's not the box. Like, who thinks immediately, oh, it's that box I
Sure.
brought in? Besides probably us. So he was looking to refurbish it, and he gave it to his mother as a gift.
Rude.
She immediately went on to suffer a major stroke, and in the hospital she wrote out the words, "hate gift."
Oh.
So he ends up with the box again.
Did she pass away?
I think she survived.
Okay, I hope so.
Like I said, this is an item I would love to do a really deep dive on. There's so many documented interactions that happened with this item that I'm just giving you a super small rundown of it because I want to cover some other great things that have been sold on eBay and are haunted. So she writes hate gift, he gets it back in his possession, and he starts discovering that everybody in his family is having the same nightmare.
Oh. Don't like that.
Next thing you know, he starts seeing shadowy figures around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he decides this thing has got to go. Fun fact, his tale about the Dybbuk box inspired the 2012 horror film The Possession.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do a deep dive on that someday. But the next thing that is the most haunted item on eBay is a possessed carving.
Okay.
This particular carving was sold on eBay in 2013. The seller claimed the carving had been with their family and in their family for over 60 years. Originally, the person's grandparents had found it in the attic of a home that they owned in West Virginia in the 1950s. And when the original homeowners were asked where it came from, they found out that it was a gift from a prisoner who had carved it. Now, according to the original seller's description, quote, anyone who comes in contact with it seems to feel strange and creeped out by it. Things started occurring when the seller took the carving out of its storage box and decided that they wanted to use it as a display on their cabinet. She is quoted as saying, I began to experience the television turning on and off, lights coming on in rooms no one was in, the kids' toys coming on in the middle of the night in their room at 3 a.m. Now, despite its creepy, haunted backstory, it sold for $85.
Okay.
Speaking of statues and carvings, the next item is a destructive statue, and it sold at auction on eBay in 2013. It's kind of folk artsy. It was a bust, and it was made of a man named William, who was a hobbyist at sculptures, and he liked to work with unhardened clay as his media. According to that item's description, he made this statue on the same day he was crushed to death during a tragic work accident at the brickyard. A co-worker happened to be a witness that the statue was still at the job site when he arrived the next day, so he decided to take it home with him. Nothing strange happened for a couple months, but things got dramatically worse when he decided to take it out of storage and to display it in his den, much like the statue we've heard of before.
Right.
A couple days later, the den felt, quote, heavy and uninviting. He started hearing doors slamming on their own, and when he would go to investigate, the doors would be open. Decorations that were around the statue shattered on their own, and he even found the statue facing the opposite direction, even though he had never moved it. Things got worse after that when he saw a dark shadow or mist as he was walking past his den one night. Completely spooked, he begged his friend to sell it, who then put it on eBay.
Okay.
And I gotta say, this thing is creepy looking. I'm gonna go ahead and describe it to you. Alright, it looks like it's a bust of a man. The word future, in quotation marks, is carved on its upper chest. When I say it's a bust of a man, it is a very rough sculpture.
Well, because it wasn't finished, right?
Yes, it wasn't
Okay.
finished. I don't want to insult the ghost sculpture, but it is just very, very rough in the making.
Okay.
It has blue eyes, dark brown hair, and brown eyebrows, and red lips. And its head, I would describe it as kind of I wouldn't say cone-shaped, but if you were breaking down face shapes, it'd probably be kind of triangular.
So a little elongated, maybe?
No, it's a little rounder than that.
Oh, okay.
But it is very interesting looking.
Okay. Maybe we can put an image of it up on our socials.
I can link a whole article. I can put images of all these items up. Now, since we've learned a little bit about some of the most haunted items to ever sell on eBay, I thought maybe it could be fun to kind of look at what's up there now. What do you think?
I'd love that. Hold on. Ooh, she's 15
I
inches.
think you just... Yeah, so she's listed as 15-inch paranormal doll, metaphysical, mystical, spooky, paranormal haunt. So some big keywords there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you a little
God,
bit
I
about her story. Her name is...
don't like that.
What don't you like about her? She immediately drew me in.
Oh, no, I don't want that in my life at all. I can afford her, though.
I
She's
can
only
afford her too. I think
$41.
she looks nice until you do the zoom.
I don't love
Try
the,
to zoom in on her.
I don't love that in her background she's got a Ouija board.
Oh, that's what they all do on eBay.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't look
Until you
very...
prove it's a spirit doll, you put a Ouija board behind it, and then you measure it with an EMF detector as seen in picture number 5.
I don't love that. I don't know. She's freaky deaky. Tell me why you love her.
She is a paranormal... I'm just going to read parts of this listing. Hi! Let me introduce myself to you. Oh, that's not her.
Okay.
Okay. She does say, she goes on to note, the seller goes on to note in the posting that if you feel a certain one of my spirit dolls is calling to you, or you may notice being drawn back to a certain one of them, then make no mistake, you may just be the one they are searching for. Do not be afraid of Anita. She has been positive so far. I'm still not going to buy her.
I mean, you're specifically being told by the owner that you should.
I specifically have some shoes I need to sell. You should buy them.
Yeah,
Okay.
but see, my feet are way bigger than yours. You can't have a
They're
wrong
not
doll
my
size.
size. They're size 8s. What size are you?
Do you know how huge I am? I'm like
I'm a
a
size
size
5 and a
10.
half. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have listed here a very special porcelain doll vessel. We had a session with her in which her name was revealed to us as Anita. Here is Anita. She is 15 inches tall. I acquired her at a session 15 years ago when I went to an old rural house that needed help and they were having a lot of paranormal activity. We searched the whole house and couldn't find anything out of the ordinary. We blessed the house and saged it, and then we asked about the basement. Finally, we found a box in the corner that was covered in dust. We opened it and there she was, Anita. This doll inside still looked brand new. She's so beautiful. Anita is wearing a long romantic dress with a blue ribbon around her waist. We removed it from the house, and they said that the activity immediately ceased. All of the activity in our house has been positive since. She's made of porcelain, and she's a fine beauty with an upsweep brown curls and big, deep, spellbinding eyes, looming at any lookers.
Oh.
She loves attention. You can see her standing tall with her beautiful long dress. She's a great find. During our session, the voice spirit box said her name, Anita. She's simply beautiful, but there's a sadness about her that you can feel. I don't feel like she feels sad. I feel like she feels happy when she looks at me.
Well, maybe you
She's
make her happy.
She's one of the most detailed dolls that I have. I hope that I don't. She's absolutely... Maybe I'll haunt my head.
Hey, there you go.
Maybe that'll be my spirit vessel. I'll haunt my head.
You are just gunning down cats left and right. So,
Yeah, okay, so for those of you, go ahead and explain what's happening here.
So Jessie is being attacked ceaselessly by her menagerie of cats and has a squirt bottle with which to deter them from misbehaving. And occasionally I just see her turn her Glock sideways and miss the shit out of these cats.
It's a glaring. First of all, a menagerie of cats is a glaring, which is a very accurate term, as they are glaring at me currently.
Me and Darnell just watched the movie Cats, and we're forever changed.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude, it's horrific. Get drunk and watch it one night and live tweet it at me.
I will.
Okay.
What's tonight look like for you?
Totally free. I got all night, or more accurately, all morning, because your night is early for me.
I will have to live tweet to you. Okay, Anita is a dream walker, which means she can come to you in your dreams. Well, I already have a lot of visitations in my dreams, so that doesn't surprise me. Though Jim has never come to me in a dream, and maybe I should invite him to. I'm just worried about crossing that line with him.
Yeah?
She's been very good so far. She's been tested with 3 different methods of private sessions, and she tested positive to all. So, if you guys are interested in Anita, and you want to welcome this little angel into your home, or demon, we really don't know.
This little creature.
So the current bid is at $41, and the bidding ends today.
Oh, well, then it'll be way too late by the time
it's gonna be sold by the time you listen to this.
Yeah,
quite possibly to me.
Oh, she's freaky.
I kind of want her. I don't know. She looks nice to me. She really does. Like, out of all these dolls I looked at, she just looks sweet.
Okay, well...
But that's how you get ghosts.
Can we talk about how this person selling her has really high ratings?
Yeah, I think
like 99.6.
She sells a lot of paranormal objects.
Also,
so it's probably super haunted then, right?
This bidding started at $27.
Yeah, it's escalated quite a bit.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. Let's get away from Anita before I make a stupid decision and doom us all. Or Jim gets a new wife.
Oh.
What if that is my, purpose in life, is a ghost matchmaker?
That's the new show on Bravo.
And that's how we find it out. I order a haunted doll, her and Jim hit it off. They're living in the laundry room ceiling. All's good.
I'm here for it.
All right, another creepy doll, Miss Mariah. Now, this one creeped me out. Unlike our sweet little Anita, who I will speak highly of because it says that you should talk nicely about her. Okay. And honestly, I like her anyway. Sending you the link for Mariah.
Yes, Miss Mariah.
All right. Mariah is the type of person who, if you're good to, will be good back. But if treated badly, will hit back 10 times harder. Whoa. She has both positive and negative traits and will treat you accordingly. So with that being said, she's not for everyone. I feel like someone just wrote this description about me when I'm having a really rough day, PMSing, and having sleep problems. She's shown me a lot of things she's done in her lifetime, and it's been interesting to say the least. ... Oh man, it goes downhill fast. Poisoning, blackmailing, theft are on her lists and acts of revenge. Okay, this is where it doesn't describe me. If anyone hurt Mariah or someone she cared about, she'd set out to destroy them. She has shown me her methods of manipulations and vengeance and pure evil that she used for revenge in visions of shock on her victims' faces as they realized their misfortune was the result of a small, timid-looking woman. Men in handcuffs screaming foul words to her as they were taken away in cuffs, which is a bit redundant. A woman being shred to pieces by large animals in cringeworthy scenes. From one of her most gruesome acts were the needles she carefully placed through the eyeballs of a man chained and gagged. Oh my God!
I
No!
hate
Why?
Oh.
Why would you bring this into your house, even if you want to treat her well? If she was your friend, she was loyal to you, and if someone was hurting you, she destroyed them. She went as far as to marry a man for the sole purpose of ruining his life. This was a bad man who abused a friend of her and her children. She knew she was dying from cancer, but no one else knew, and she didn't want to get sick and still had to take care of her husband. She planted the evidence that pinned her husband for the murder by... I will say, this is extremely detailed if someone's just making this up.
It is, and it also sounds a lot like a middle school girl behavior of like, I don't know, it's just the vindictive behavior.
Don't talk badly. Say something nice about her, Rue.
She has
we will be
really great big green eyes that
have vengeance stuck about.
Stare into your soul.
Your best friend. She will be there anytime to help and support you if you were in need. She will help you avenge the ones that hurt you in some form or another. She's not a murderer. Okay, I'm not out for vengeance.
No.
I don't think this doll...
No.
Anita's much more up my alley.
Yeah, she sounds a lot more tranquil.
If you feel Mariah calling to you, this is an asterisk.
You'll
up. Feel it. Feel free to make an offer.
No.
And then it says at the bottom, this is for entertainment purposes only. You are purchasing a tangible doll, which is interesting.
Okay. No, Mariah is my nope of the week.
Mariah's your nope of the week. We'll put a picture of her up here.
Yeah.
And, okay, so I feel like we've done a fair share of haunted dolls, right? Mm-hmm. What if you don't really know what kind of item you want, but you just want a haunted item?
Okay.
Okay. This is a link I sent to you, so I'm not going to post it in chat. But you can buy a haunted item surprise box.
Yes, you did send that to me.
With a spell item active ghost. So if you don't really know what you want, but you want a haunted item, if you're like, hey, you know what, I don't know if I want something that's going to bring me luck or something that's just going to utterly destroy my life, maybe a mystery box is for you. Just to be clear, I am not condoning anybody ordering anything that can bring any negative energy into your house. This is a podcast for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
But people are going to do what they're going to do. If you do decide to order a spellbound or haunted item, please email us your story at supposedlypod@gmail.com. We'd love to find out what happens, and we're both not brave enough to do it at this
Hey, if you're an adult and you have $40, how you spend that $40 is your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you spend it in the next 5 hours and 45 minutes, you might just be able to pick up Anita.
But you'd have to be a time traveler because this comes out in like 5 days.
And also, if you're a time traveler, please email us at supposedly@gmail.com.
Yes, with better stories than just
gmail.com.
I went back in time to buy a weird doll. Anyways,
but if that's your story, I'd still love to hear it.
Yes, tell us about this box.
Okay, so if you don't want something tangible to show up, if you don't want a box, you can order a haunted knot doll. The spirit will be sent directly to you. Okay. It's never been seen before.
Which kind of sounds like sea monkey thing, the invisible goldfish you covered.
Yes, it's the invisible goldfish of ghosts.
Yes.
They will send you a ghost. You won't know what kind of ghost. Maybe that's how Jim got here. Who knows? What if you sent one of these to like somebody that wronged you or that you just didn't like?
Yo, that is the pettiness I'm here for.
You just send one and you don't even tell them and you just see if they start posting stuff on Facebook about their house is now suddenly haunted. Yes. That'd be interesting. I don't condone that. I would never do that. If you do it, supposedlypod@gmail.com. So, I believe I shared with you a haunted antique railroad wrench.
You did not, and I'm mad at you.
I did not? Okay, well, let me go ahead and share with you the haunted antique railroad wrench. See, this to me strikes as a more authentic haunted object. because it's not, maybe it's more, you know how we talked that there could be degrees of haunted objects. Maybe this is just a haunted object that was haunted due to someone dying near it or in close proximity or something, and the dolls are all channeled by witches. Who knows?
Okay.
All right. So it's approximately 15.5 inches long. It's a Williams alligator type wrench marked C&O, Chesapeake and Ohio, with Williams maker mark on one side. The wrench may emit an evil feel of dread and loss at times and has a general bad feel surrounding it. This object was found years ago in a wooded area on Jackson Road in Suffolk, Virginia, where the infamous Jackson Road light is said to have appeared at night. Ooh, aliens maybe. The legend has it that the light is caused by the spirit of departed railroad brakeman carrying a lantern looking for his lost train. The light would suddenly appear in a flash for a while, and just as quickly as it disappeared. I've heard about this thing, so that kind of lends an air of credibility to it in my mind. And it would disappear with no apparent reason. The existence of the wrench is in good condition overall for its age. It has rust and some oxidation, as it is made of an old antique metal, and it has aged from wear. Interesting. It does say it has active or spirit or paranormal presence, and that should be noted before you purchase it.
Okay. It also doesn't ship to Germany, so this one's on you.
I'm not going to buy it.
Okay.
We both know where my money's going if I were to buy any of these things.
To your own noggin.
It's to Anita.
Oh, well, that's
But what if... Oh, yeah. Oh, prioritizing my head over Anita. I'd probably buy my head. I don't know, but Anita's only there for 5 hours, and my head... That's, I mean, if I let that collect dust enough, maybe I can talk the guy down.
There you go.
So, remember our episode that you did on types of fairies?
Yes.
What if you want something that's related to the fae?
Then I should check out the link you just sent me.
You should check out the Haunted Spirit Star Fae Wish Granting Notebook. It is a must-see and has no doll.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty.
It's pretty. You're a writer. I thought this could be right up your alley.
Yeah? Is it like a Death Note?
It is I don't know if it's leather, but it has the appearance of a leather-bound journal with a steampunk-style locking mechanism. It looks modern, but modern in the sense that somebody tried to make an antique or have that kind of vibage to it. Yeah. It has a blue stone in the center of it with some leather braiding around it, and it has a very interesting purpose. So, this notebook has a star fae spirit attached that will grant all of your wishes. Star fae spirits are not from the astral realm, and they travel between realms. So,
like aliens.
Astral star fae spirit is conjured and openly bound to this beautiful book. Which, if you could travel between dimensions, how much would that suck to be stuck bound to a book?
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I mean, that seems sucky, but maybe it comes and goes. Who knows? So, these spirits are incredibly wonderful and loving spirits to their keepers and to nature. These astral fairies can appear to you as orbs of light or streaks of light when they are wanting to make themselves known. The rest of the time, they may stay naked to the human eye. Astral star fae are able to grant your wishes. They increase your astral travel ability between Earth and the spirit realms, increase your time travel abilities, increase your magical abilities, increase your connection with the universe, and increase your control powers.
So if you buy this, you can time travel better back to buy Anita.
Oh, jeez, that's a good idea.
There
but also a terrible one, because
also
we know that my aesthetic is getting tricked by the fae.
It is, as your Keebler cookies have shown.
If you sending me that box of cookies didn't prove that I didn't even look and had my hand shoved in there and in my mouth before I even looked who it was from.
Yo, that was worth $20 just to prove my experiment.
You did. You totally proved that I would easily be tricked by the fae, which we already know. Okay, so to use it, I'm going to say this in the form of the infomercials I used to write, because this is home shopping horrors after all. Simply write your wishes in the notebook. As many wishes as you please. There's no limit on wishes. To bond with the Starface spirit, you must rub the stone and talk to your spirit. Remember, the spirit is your friend. You are forming a new and lasting relationship. Your fairy will reveal his or her name to you in a dream or as a voice in your head. Your fairy will forever be devoted to you. Simply order now for the low, low price of $59.99. But act now and we'll throw in Anita for no extra charges as our free gift to you. That's right, just one single payment of $59.95, and this Haunted Spirit Starfay wish-granting notebook can be yours. Order now.
That was upsetting. Well
Was
done.
Well,
I mean,
I didn't write them for a living. I have written close to 200 of them, so...
I think the most upsetting thing is how much you sound like a Disney princess actress.
I never did the voiceover for them, but I will say that every time I wrote an infomercial for a product, I would read it back to myself in that voice. So one of my exes got annoyed with me because when I'd be writing, I'd be like, for the low, low price of $29.95, but act now. And he's like, Chelsea, shut up. And I'm like, no. That's the only way I can read them when I'm writing them.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I think that even though I'm a writer, I'm not going to buy that, though.
You don't want your wishes granted by writing in it?
I'm a little too nervous that it's going to be more like Death Note and just kill everybody.
That is a fair assumption. Okay, well, those are the most haunted items to ever sell on eBay, plus some items that are listed currently. I highly encourage you to go check out the haunted section of eBay just because it is great for entertainment purposes. What you choose to do with your money is, of course, up to you, though I do not condone personally buying any of these items. And as Rue and I stated before, you never really know what you're going to get, whether it be of the spiritual realm or whether it just be a hoax and something you threw your money away on.
But it is, since you sent me that link, I just scrolled to the bottom for more items, and there is some weird shit on here, like a $999 EVP recorder.
Yep, there's a lot of really interesting stuff on here. I always thought that one day I'd buy something off of here and just send it to you, and it's going to be the most ordinary looking thing. Like, I'll send you some creepy looking stuff you're going to think is haunted, and I'll send you, I don't know, something basic looking. And be like, oh, and she sent me this nice bracelet.
I just hope it's not very well wrapped, because all of our international mail comes directly to the base. And so I hope it's a very conspicuous looking package. And so this dude at the military post office has to be like, here's your weird doll thing.
Or maybe I shouldn't, because I don't want to I don't want to curse the American military.
Did you not listen to our last episode? It's already high-key haunted.
That's right. Okay, so fair game then.
Is what you're telling me. Just tell me if you're going to send me something, and I'll make sure that my husband goes in uniform to pick up his haunted doll.
The doll's not going to be haunted. It's going to be something so sincerely innocent looking. And then I'm just not going to tell you, and we'll just see. Great. I'll wait a couple episodes, and you just tell me if anything starts happening.
Great. I'll be like, hey, so I'm down to record tonight, but let me know if you hear weird stuff in the background, because all my pictures just keep flying off the walls across the room. It's super weird. I think it's related to the military testing.
Get rid of the bracelet. Get rid of the bracelet.
What?
Take it off. Take it off.
This bracelet? It's so pretty.
Leave it in the basement. Run away. Run away.
Oh no. See, you're gonna get Anita and she's gonna be a wife for Jim, and you're gonna send me some horrible bracelet, and it's gonna be
never. I would never send you something that was labeled horrible.
And it'll be the basement being's wife.
Oh, I'm gonna send you how divorce works in the spiritual world. I'd stick her in a ring and send her to you.
Oh no. Yeah, no, one day my poor caretaker, because we have our house has one of our neighbors also work as our caretaker, and one day he's just going to go downstairs in the boiler room where the being exists, and there's just going to be a doll down there, and I'm sorry already to him.
You have a caretaker?
We do, because he's our maintenance guy and also our groundskeeper, because we have a koi pond in the backyard.
Oh, you gotta have someone to feed the koi.
Yeah.
There is, in Anita's picture, there's an orb next to her in one of the final photographs. I think she has a nice face.
Well, then maybe she should be yours for the low, low price of
$41.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, only 3 hours and 42 minutes. How did that happen? Maybe she time traveled.
Maybe one of the, I know what happened.
What happened?
Someone wrote in the fairy notebook that they wished it would be 3 hours ahead, and you were a part of a time slip because the person writing in the fairy notebook knew you were looking at Anita. Whoa.
It's me, isn't it?
It's you. You're self-sabotaging.
It's me. I'm trying to get the doll myself.
Self-sabotage.
Or I got the doll and it did not work out, and then I went and bought the fairy notebook to try to undo what I've done with the doll.
Self-sabotage in the astral plane.
I just hope wherever I am, I have my head. So you want to hear a funny little about that?
Yep.
Maybe I'm already drunk to watch Kratz.
Kratz.
Oh my god, something's happening to my brain and I'm thinking it's a time slip, or I've just been shooting for 2 nights overnight.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, anecdote.
Yep.
Do you want to hear a little anecdote? Do you want to hear something funny about the head?
I sure do.
Okay. So, when I was walking down to the basement, which is where they were storing the head, the guy was showing me it, who made it, and it was really weird seeing it because when we look in reflections of ourselves, we see ourselves reversed. So it was weird seeing myself unreversed. I looked a little different than I thought I had. So I'm looking it over, and I look at its ears, and I go, oh my god. I've always had a complex about my ears because I feel like they're big. They're not big, I just have a very small head, which then makes my ears look really big. And they stick out a little, and I'm like, oh. But seeing it, I thought, wow, they actually look okay. Like, I've got this complex going on in my mind for nothing. And I said that out loud to the guy who had done my head, and he says, oh yeah, those aren't your ears.
Oh no!
My ears didn't come out of the mold right because they're too big.
Oh no. I can't see your ears right now because you're wearing the big headset, but I've
Reason
never
for
thought
that. It's a big headset. I feel like
they're ridiculous.
So when I thought I was healing from that complex, really it just gave me a bigger one.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think we all have weird complexes about ourselves. They just look like ears.
But my head is small, so they look big. Anyway, that's a funny thing about the head. I will update. I'll share pictures of the head.
Yes.
And I'll update you guys whether or not I purchase it, whether if I cave and purchase Anita, whether I go back in time and purchase Anita, it goes terribly wrong, and then I purchase the Fairy Wish Granting Journal.
There you go. Yeah, just maybe there's a coupon code you can use, like 10% off my head.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh, damn. I tried.
I could barter with him a little bit. I could be like, hey, we can do a photo shoot. Like, you want to, I don't know, because he also does a lot of prosthetics and stuff that he likes to show off. Sometimes at trade shows. Maybe we can work out oh, that sounded bad. I was going to say head for trade agreement. That's not what I mean. Maybe he will give me a discount on my artificial head if I am a model at his trade shows or something.
I mean, here's an idea. Maybe he can do like a 2-headed thing and put your head on your shoulder since the head's already there.
I don't know. The bottom's pretty gooey.
Even better to stick on, my dear.
I don't know if there'd be room.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked weird when you sent it to me.
Anyway.
It was weird to see your disembodied head.
Thank you. Anyway, let's go ahead and tell people where to find us.
Yeah, sounds good. So we are on the socials, Instagram, Twitter at supposedlypod. We're on Facebook at supposedly, and you can email us at supposedlypod@gmail.com.
We were about to say the same thing at the same time. We would love to hear any stories you have, any paranormal happenings, anything of interest to you, or anything you want us to cover on the podcast.
Yeah, and please do, I know everyone says it, but really please do rate us and subscribe. It really helps us show up in the algorithm so that more people can find us. And if you like what we have to say, maybe share it with a friend.
Maybe if we get 100 subscribers, we buy a haunted doll and we give it a week and see what happens.
Maybe if we get 100 subscribers, Jessie buys a haunted doll and keeps it to herself and I have nothing to do with it. Maybe. Anyways, join us next time on
Supposedly.
Yay!